The first Nazi ceremony is another funeral. Their names are unimportant, barely even remembered.
Und dass auf diesem Grab einmal eine Flamme aufsteigen soll, die ganz Deutschland erleuchten wird.
The Third Reich is ushered in by fire. The whole world asks, did the Nazis themselves set fire to the Reichstag?
This is the beginning of the communist revolution. We will show no mercy. Every communist official must be shot where he is found. Every communist deputy must be strung up this very night.
There is no revolution. But the fire has been a signal, another gigantic propaganda lie. Now the Nazi terror starts in full force. The first concentration camps are opened. Into them, without trial, are cast any who dare to oppose the new rulers, if they have not already been murdered by the stormtroopers. The eyes of the people are diverted from this terror by spectacular parades unseen since the time of Kaiser Wilhelm. Potsdam. Hitler cleverly sets the scene for his first big official event in the very shrine of German militarism and imperial glory. The old heritage is kept alive in the figure of the Reich President himself, symbol of the everlasting military tradition so dear to many Germans. But today a new uniform, the brown-shirted men of the SA, marches along with the relics of the past. Today, a new emblem hangs alongside the banners of the old empire. The new party seeks to be on equal footing with the army. The new chancellor is at ease with the veterans of the Reichswehr, Field Marshal von Mackensen and the Crown Prince Wilhelm. Once more, the inevitable parades. First the army, then the nationalists, and finally the street gang army of Hitler's SA. Two days later, the Reichstag meets in its new home, the Kroll Opera House. It is to pass an enabling act, which will strip the delegates of any real future power. Hitler, as Chancellor, will assume it all. The president of the Reichstag, none other than Hermann Goering himself, surveys the proceedings through binoculars. All communist deputies have either been arrested or murdered. Among the many other parties, only the Social Democrats, through Otto Wels, speak out against this ferocious act. All others vote with the Nazis. Outside, the stormtroopers bay,
"We want the bill, or else fire and murder."
They get their bill. So also do the German people. Immediately, Goebbels controls all news and information. Propaganda is now completely in power. Every day, the newspapers are told what to write, how to write it, and what not to write. The radio is wholly taken over. Many of the cinema's leading producers know what kind of films the Nazis want. All scripts must now be vetted. The casting of actors must be approved. From now on, the German people will only know what their Führer wants them to know.
Propaganda brought us into power. Propaganda has enabled us to remain in power. Propaganda will enable us to conquer the world.
In his early Munich days, Hitler had taken an old Hindu symbol, the hooked cross, the swastika, as the Nazi symbol. Now he multiplies it 1,000,000 times. From the Romans, he steals the standards which are to dominate every ceremony. From Mussolini, he steals the fascist salute. The people are fed with slogans.
Führer, command, we follow you. The Führer is always right.
Hitler is a man who fears the intellect and hates all intellectuals. So into the flames are flung the works not only of German philosophers, scientists, doctors, poets, playwrights, and novelists, but those of all the world. Students as well as stormtroopers obey the Führer's order. Any culture except Nazi culture must be destroyed. May Day, 1933. Up till now, the Nazis had jeered at Labour's traditional day, but now it is to be celebrated as never before. A 100,000 workers crowd to the Tempelhof airfield. Whether they like it or not, trade union leaders have flown here from every part of Germany. As always, Hitler first senses the mood of the crowd. Then he tells them,
Deutsche Volksgenossen und Genossinnen. Der Mai ist gekommen.
You will see how untrue and unjust is the statement that our revolution is directed against the German workers. Honor work and respect the worker.
And the very next day, stormtroopers seize all trade union headquarters, steal their funds, and throw any official who resists into a concentration camp. The unions are totally disbanded. In their place, a German workers' front is set up, a compulsory body in which the workers have no say. On July the 14th, the official Gazette announces,
the German government has enacted the following law, which is herewith promulgated. Article 1, the National Socialist German Workers' Party constitutes the only political party in Germany.
Hitler can now afford to jeer.
Und ich glaube nicht, dass die Gegner, die damals noch heute auch noch lachen.
But the Führer has one more big problem to face. As early as 1933, he has planned for a European war, for Lebensraum, living space, for the German Herrenvolk. But for a war, he must have the full support of the professional army. The SA, now some 2 million strong, is all very well for striking terror into the people, but it would be useless to fight a modern war. On their part, the stormtroops are restless. Now their Führer is in power, they want their share of the spoils. But for Hitler, the support of the army comes first. An army which has watched with alarm the growing strength of the SA under its Chief of Staff, Ernst Röhm.
Mit das Verdienst des einzelnen, nicht der einfachen SA-Mannes ist, wenn heute ein anderes Deutschland Welt gegenübersteht.
So when Hitler sets out with the commanders-in-chief of the army and navy for spring naval maneuvers, he is thought to have pulled off a secret double deal. Some say he ruthlessly agreed to sacrifice the SA in return for the High Command's promise to back him to succeed the aged Hindenburg when the old man dies. What Hitler did not reveal was Himmler's secret plan to take over a reformed SA and at the same time to build up a new private army, the black uniformed SS, into being the first armed power in the state. June the 30th, 1934, the night of the long knives, one of Hitler's most blatant acts of treachery against his former friends. Not only Röhm and many other SA leaders are murdered, but also Gregor Strasser, General von Schleicher and his wife, and hundreds of others against whom some Nazi bears a private grudge. Hitler declares the killings to be legal. General von Bomberg issues an order of the day to express the army's satisfaction. Now industry is given the green light to speed up the armaments program. Germany must become the strongest nation on earth in all the weapons of death. The people are given yet another new slogan.
Guns before butter.
Also a part of the armament plan are the new autobahns. Impressive highways like these, so often admired by visitors to Germany, had been built in other countries. Only the German people are deceived into believing that such projects need a dictator for their fulfillment. To Hitler, they mean two things: strategic arteries for the war he plans, and a quick way to absorb the unemployed. When President Hindenburg dies, Hitler promptly announces that he himself will now combine the offices of Reich President and Reich Chancellor and become Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the all-high Führer of the German people. From now on, all officers and men must swear an oath of allegiance not to their fatherland, but to Adolf Hitler. He promises the people,
the German form of life is definitely determined for the next 1,000 years.
It is definitely determined, too, for the Jews in Germany, the arch objects of Hitler's hatred. Already on coming into power, he had proclaimed a national boycott of all Jewish shops. The Jew haters are on the hunt. Every humiliation is heaped upon the Jews. Julius Streicher's obscene newspaper pours out its lies.